This is Natasha De Souza reporting for SALT Voices, and I'm here at SALT Abu Dhabi with Abhi Kane, the Managing Director and Head of Investment Research at SkyBridge. Hi, Abhi.
Hi.
Good to see you again. We've been catching up quite a bit over the course of SALT this time.
Yeah.
So you've been a SALT veteran. You've been to many of these, forums over the years, and now here, this is your first time in Abu Dhabi. First time SALT is being in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Tell me what the feeling has been. What's the flavor like? How is SALT Abu Dhabi different from the other forums that you've been to?
Yeah, it's a fantastic feeling. As you said, I'm a veteran.
How many SALT forum shows have you been
9
to?
under my belt in Las Vegas, 2 in Singapore.
You
and
really
this
are
is
a
the first
veteran.
time in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I mean, we caught some fantastic weather. The Emirates Palace is a fantastic venue. I'm meeting some solid, interesting people here. It's all in all. I think the feeling is great.
Tell me about the panel that you moderated yesterday. What were some of the takeaways from that discussion?
So my panel was regulatory changes, so impact of regulatory changes. So whenever people hear that title, we lose half the audience, and when you look at the other half, you lose the other half. But the response was good. I kept it lively.
What were some of the things that came up in the discussion on stage?
The more things that came out was how are these strategies, how are the regulatory impact in the United States are impacting Abu Dhabi, and that was the one that was lost on people, that this is a pegged currency. So it's pegged to the dollar.
Yes.
So whenever people say emerging market, they say first is currency risk, whereas there is no currency risk here. Number two, what the Fed does and doesn't, you not normally think why would it affect people world over, but it does. Now you're part of the dollar block. So whatever the Fed does is your problem, right? Or an opportunity. So in the panel, we sort of talked about that as to what an Abu Dhabi investors can do or can invest in the US. Obviously, last 10 years have been, in terms of regulatory changes, have been everybody knows about them. The media talks about them. The joke is that last time the Federal Reserve cut rates 10 years ago, nobody tweeted about it on their iPhones, because there was no iPhone and no Twitter.
Okay.
Now,
it was that long ago.
That was long ago. And 10 years later, now people have been bombarded with blogs and media coverages on what the Federal Reserve does and doesn't.
Okay.
So I think the topic was relevant. And we had 4 managers that we have invested billions of dollars in.
Okay.
And they spoke about their trades, and it was great. I mean, I think the audience looked like they liked it.
Now, I can't let you go without picking your brain a little bit about, the investment side. As head of investment research, if you were to, I think, looking back at 2019, the year that's, coming to a close now, and looking ahead to 2020, and maybe a couple of years out of that, where do you think, opportunities lie, within the investment space, and specifically for, clients of SkyBridge?
Yes.
If you were to distill, I think, some of your key insights from the research that the firm does, what would those be?
Yes. So we live in what's called the non-correlated bucket. So we call our funds like a shock absorber to a client's portfolio.
Okay.
Meaning you have a 60-40 stock bond portfolio. I say, give me 10 from your stocks, give me 10 from your bonds, and we'll build an alternative book. Right? And that book cannot step on your stock book, and cannot step on your bond book. So we cannot have, but we don't like to have much beta in our portfolio.
Okay.
And we don't like to have duration in our portfolio, meaning interest rate sensitivity. That way we don't step on your stock book, we do not step on your bond book.
Okay.
So last year, what has worked is beta and duration, meaning we have had a tremendous rally in the stock market. It looks like we're finishing 25+% in the United States. So not having beta has not been a good thing.
Right.
Whereas the prior year, it worked well because the market was down. Same thing with duration, meaning the interest rate. When we started the year, people were saying Federal Reserve is going to hike rates. The market was pricing 3 rate hikes.
Right.
And what we got was not only 3 rate hikes, we got 3 rate cuts. So from up 75 basis point, you went to down 75 basis points.
Yeah.
So meaning you are in the hole for 1.5% as a fixed income investor, right? So it's been tricky year to navigate.
Okay.
We are holding fine. We close to our mandate.
Okay.
But that said, let's see what next year brings.
Let's see what next year brings.
Yeah.
Another SALT, I'm sure, in Abu
for
Dhabi,
sure.
and I'm
That
sure
would be
next year
great.
will
Yeah.
bring you here too.
No, I would
and maybe we'll be back here talking again. Thank you so much for joining me today, Abhi. It's been good having you. Really good talking to you.
Thanks,
Thank
Natasha.
you.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
having me.
you.
Yeah.